Thank you for making it to another episode of The Money Exchange with Patrina Dixon. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, it's My Money with Patrina Dixon. I am Patrina Dixon, your It's My Money lady, your personal finance coach. I love that you come here to get your personal finance and entrepreneurship tips. Today, I have a wonderful episode for you. I have Miss Tamika on. Hey, Tamika.
Hello. Hey, everyone.
I'm so happy to be here with Tamika. Tamika is going to talk about a topic that I wish all of you would consider. If you're not debt-free yet, Miss Tamika is going to tell you that it's possible. And then she's also an entrepreneur. So I know that people think you can't pay debt and be an entrepreneur, but I'm letting you know it is possible. You could do both simultaneously. So with that, Tamika, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Just for the folks, I am a CPA by trade in my former life, but today I am a full-time entrepreneur, have been for the last 8 years. I currently own or run or oversee 4 different businesses within the transportation, e-commerce, college education realm of just entrepreneurship. I have been debt-free, minus the mortgage, for the past 7 years. And I actually started my entrepreneurship not by accident, not on purpose, but as a result of being somewhat debt-free. I was not completely debt-free when I jumped feet all in into the entrepreneurship world. I still had about a year's worth of payments to make when I started my full-time e-commerce business.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So, you said a couple of times you're debt-free. So people are probably figuring out like, oh my gosh, like some people have like huge amounts of debt. Some people are already on that journey. So let's talk about that a little bit. And again, to qualify, you're debt-free. Your only debt you have is your mortgage. So you don't have credit card debt, car payment, all that. So just want to make sure that we qualify that for the audience. So talk a little bit about how much debt were you in minus the mortgage, and then how long it took you to get out, and then name 2, tactical things you did to help you get there.
Okay. When I first started my debt-free journey, I was over $100,000 in debt, $107,000 to be exact. Mm-hmm. It took me 2 years to pay off that debt.
2 years for $107,000. Wow, that's amazing. Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So now everybody's all ears. Like, wow.
Yeah, it was so two main takeaways, because even for me, as I was doing it, I wouldn't have been able to really tell you the how, but looking back, for sure, number one for sure was saying no and being okay with saying no. And honestly, that meant saying no to myself. So a lot of my debt was imposter syndrome spending. It was not saying no to family and friends, to going out, to eating out, to going on vacations, to just doing normal stuff that, you're calculating in your head, and the expenses don't seem large. It's $25 here, it's $38 there, it's $72 here. And you get that credit card bill and you're like, how did I spend $2,800 this month? Like, what did I spend it on? Like, what's going on? So saying no was huge in my debt journey, like huge. Yes. Saying no and being okay with saying no, especially with myself.
Yes.
And knowing that saying no was only temporary. Yeah. I think that's the piece.
And I call that delayed gratification. Being able to appreciate delayed gratification. Yes, absolutely.
Definitely delayed gratification. The second piece, which is more of a tool that helped me pay off the debt, was using the Snowball method.
Yes.
So I used the Snowball method to pay off my debt. And for me, some folks say go in order of the highest interest rate, or go in order of the smallest balance owed. For me, I actually used the debt that irked me the worst.
So you made it a Tamika plan. So not Avalanche or Snowball, you made it Tamika ball.
Yeah, I love it. My ball was what was that one payment every month that I'm like, oh my gosh, why do I still have this? Like, why is this still on my plate? Like, it just gets on my nerves. I'm tired of seeing it and I'm ready to be done with it.
Yes.
So that was my order, because for me, money is emotional, very emotional. Spending it, saving it, doing whatever with it is so emotional. Yeah. So I knew that if I got rid of the stuff that irked me the most, it would be like, whew, okay. There we go, and it gave me the momentum to keep it going,
Right.
And I mean, I was at my 9 to 5, y'all, looking at my so I had an Excel spreadsheet, and I would be at
Ain't nothing
work.
wrong with Excel, girl. Yes, that's what I'm
I'm
talking
old
about.
school, so I know people do Google Sheets and they got apps. I don't know if they had apps back then, but anyway, I had an Excel spreadsheet, and I would be at my desk, like looking at my Snowball, and knowing like, okay, my check get ready to hit, this Friday. How is that check going to, hit the Snowball, and looking at it and saying, oh my gosh, I got 3 more months before this is paid off. It's only 3 more months. Yeah. It's only, a summer, and this will be like out of my hair. And then I know you asked
me, Tamika, I love how you said it's only 3 months. Some people will say, oh my gosh, it's 3 more months. I love your positive attitude towards it, because that's half of the battle as well. Is having the right mindset.
It's definitely a mindset. Like you do have to be in the mindset that this is temporary. It is for my benefit today, and especially for my benefit tomorrow.
Yes.
If you look at it as, a prison, if you look at a budget as a prison, or, oh my gosh, I ain't gonna be able to do nothing, that's where people get defeated. Like you do have to plan some fun stuff. I'm not saying for those 2 years I didn't do anything, but I definitely put the kibosh on a lot of big trips, on just a lot of just mindless spending, just because you have that credit card, you swipe, and there's no emotion to that. You just swiping.
That's exactly
but I knew that what I was doing was going to help me and my family. I have 2 sons. It was going to just help me be better prepared for them, and to teach them better spending and saving habits that I wasn't taught, growing up in my household.
So Tamika, 107,000 in 2 years. Like that's aggressive.
Well, very aggressive. So I will put a piece out there. So the job that I worked, I was paid 6 figures. I was definitely, I had a 6-figure salary. So I'm not gonna say, I was only making $300 a year and I paid $100 grand. No, but my salary and my debt matched. And even throughout my career, it was always like that. Like I could have been making 50 grand, and I swear my debt was 50 grand. Like every time I rose in salary, my debt rose. Like my purchases just became bigger. Everything just became bigger.
Yes.
And so in order to pay off that debt, I did receive bonuses at my job. I was very tactical about the bonuses. I actually reduced my 401k contribution. I didn't make it 0. I was doing, so this was the crazy part. I had $100 grand in debt, and I was putting 10% of my salary in my 401k account. And I thought I was doing good, because I was like, well, I'm putting away 10%, but I still got all this debt over here. My money was going everywhere. I was trying to do everything. I was trying to save. I was trying to pay a little bit. I was trying to still have a good time. It was everywhere, and I wasn't focused. And the Snowball helped me focus.
Yes.
So I did reduce my 401k contribution. I took that down to just a company match.
Yes.
I stopped. When I say I stopped spending, I stopped spending. Like we did not go out to eat. We went on bread and water, but Mama was fixing dinner every night. Every 2 weeks, we would go out to eat. Like, that would kind of be the yay for us. Like, okay, we can do pizza this Friday. Next Friday, you got to eat these pork chops I'm about to fix. You got to do these chicken wings I'm about to fry.
Yeah, it gives all of you a sense of, like celebratory, or have a higher level of appreciation when you did go out, as opposed to it being common. So then in order for going out to be appreciated, it'll have to be more exclusive type of restaurant, because you're regularly going to restaurants. So that's a good thing.
Oh yeah. So my budget it was restrictive, but it still included fun money. I actually have a category in my budget that's fun money.
Yes.
So the fun money was still there.
Yeah.
Whatever that little bit of fun money could do. Okay, well, let's go to the movies, or let's do this. Or if I do go out to eat with friends, okay, this got to come out the fun money. It can't come from anywhere else.
Yes.
So they're asking me to go out. I would have to look at the menu beforehand and say, okay, what can I buy? Because I only got $37 left in my fun money.
Yeah.
So let's see. I don't drink. So I know for some folks, drinks can take up a good part of your budget. I don't drink. So that helped. But still, I like sweets, and I like desserts, and I like appetizers and everything else.
Yeah.
So I would have to look at the menu and say, this is all I can afford, and already be prepared. Like when the waiter come around, okay, I know what I want. I want this with that, and keep it.
Exactly.
And no one in my immediate circle knew what was going on. No one I did not talk about paying down my debt. I didn't talk about how I was doing it. I did not even talk about the amount of debt I was in. I was just working on it bit by bit, that elephant, eating the elephant, spoonful by spoonful. And I really kept it to myself. And for me, I kind of needed to, because my family knew, or at least they had an idea of how much money I made. And, and they're just like, why are you doing it? You make the money, you can spend it, you have enough, you're recouped. And I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want, because that's what got me where I was. So I didn't want to continue to hear that and second guess what I was doing and why I was doing what I was doing.
Yes. I love it. I love it so much. And I love how you use the restaurant story. So it wasn't that you couldn't go. And even if what was left in your fund money didn't cover that particular restaurant, maybe it's no, tonight I'm going to be with the kids. Maybe I can go with y'all next week. And that's what I try to share with people and those of you listening. Budgeting is not about being restrictive. It's about actually owning what you're able to do so that you feel extremely comfortable. You're not using money that's supposed to be for something else. You know exactly how much you can spend when you go. So I love that you use that example, because you still have fun, right? Yes. But you stay within the means that's not going to get you off kilter of what you're trying to accomplish for the overall long goal. I love it so much. So you talked about the mindset. You talked about getting rid of the Tamika, I can't stand this bill. You talked about your budget. You talked about making sure you have fun money. And then Tamika said, I want to also be an entrepreneur. What is like you fell into it, which is great, because there's so many different ways that people get into entrepreneurship, right? So you, according to what I understand, you got into entrepreneurship haphazardly, right? And then you were still paying off your debt, because some people think that you can't go into entrepreneurship while you're still when you have that. So talk a little bit about how you were able to maneuver, staying focused on your plan, but yet now you talked about your income being at a six-figure salary, and you said, okay, I want to do this. You had a plan relative to your debt, but now there's a new journey that you wanted to take to go along with that plan. So talk a little bit about how you bridged that.
The bridge. So like you said, I didn't necessarily decide to become an entrepreneur. It honestly just happened. But I was able to do it because my debt had been reduced quite a bit by the time I made the decision to leave corporate America. Yeah. I just became frustrated with corporate America. And I had an epiphany at work one day out here. I'm going looking at my spreadsheets again. I don't know if you want me to talk about the eBay story, but at the time when I made the decision, I was selling items from around my house and new items I was finding in the store on eBay. I was finding items, flipping them on eBay. I would find something for a quarter. I could sell it for $25. I got addicted, and I was just constantly selling stuff, and the money was coming in. I was
wait, you're going too fast. You would find something for a quarter, 25 cents, and you would sell it for $25. Yes. I just want to make sure people got that. For 25 cents, and she would sell for $25. Now that's a return and a half. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So these are items on clearance. So I'm still am a big clearance queen. So so I would find items, look it up and say, oh my gosh, like this is being sold. And you have to realize eBay is worldwide. So don't have the blinders on and say, nobody's gonna pay this much money for something. Yeah. This is worldwide we're talking about. Yes. So yes, I was finding items on eBay, flipping them. And I got to the point, I was still working my corporate job. I got to the point where the money I was making from eBay, my net profit that I was getting from eBay was enough to cover my monthly expenses. So Tamika, 2 things.
I'm loving you how you said your net profit, because the other thing that I think people get huge eyes about when people talk about how much money they make. No, you got to think about how much net profit that they have, which is very different than how much that comes in. Trust me when I tell you. So I love that you said that. So go ahead, your net profit. So when you looked at your net profit
was covering, I got to the point where I realized my net profit could cover my monthly expenses. So it's twofold. So, over here, I'm doing my Snowball, and I'm reducing my debt, and I'm reducing my monthly debt. Yeah. And on this side, I'm starting to increase my, not passive income, but my hustle, my side money was starting to increase. Yeah. And then I came to the realization that the two were covering each other. My debt was coming down, that side income was increasing, and the two were netting out. Yeah. And I said, ooh, So I don't really need this job as much as I thought I needed this job. Mm-hmm. And I will say for me, I know there are, you know, single moms who are probably watching this or single dads. And the biggest kind of fear that I had about leaving my job was health insurance. Mm. That was my biggest fear. Mm-hmm. So I said, oh no, I can't leave this job because I need the insurance. I need the, you know, insurance to cover me and my kids. And then Obamacare came and I said, oh, well, okay, well, hold on. These premiums don't look too bad if it's just me and the kids. So then I said, okay, well, I thought I needed the job. I don't even need the job for the health insurance. Mm. So I definitely quit my job. I did give them a 30-day notice. I didn't just walk in and quit, but the decision to quit was automatic. Yeah. It was automatic at work. I had just finished having a meeting with my boss. I went to my desk and I wrote my resignation letter. And that day I said, this 9-to-5 job is in the way of me expanding my side income. Mm. It was in the way because you got to realize I'm going home, I'm doing orders. I would bring the orders to work on my lunch break. I was going to the post office, dropping off orders. I was on my lunch break going to stores, finding more stuff to sell. The job was in the way. So I said, well, if I have enough to cover my monthly expenses, I'm gonna jump. Yeah, I'm going to jump. But I didn't jump without a plan. So when I left my job, I did have vacation time that I was going to be paid out. So that was kind of my ace in the hole. Yeah. It was that vacation money. Second, I said, I cannot rest. I cannot stop working this 9-to-5 and then tomorrow go home and say, ooh, well, I ain't got to go into work. So I'm going to take a week off or I'm going to take a break or, you know, I'm going to sleep in. I'm going to kind of lay around. No, I increased the intensity of what I was doing on my lunch breaks and on the weekends. Okay. And I turned
it became your 9-to-5. Yeah.
Yes.
So you did it the hours you would be. Yeah, exactly. And okay.
That was 2014. I did not know about selling on Amazon at the time. I had no idea. So this is all eBay, guys. Yeah. This is full time on eBay. About November of that year, I had already been away from corporate America 4 or 5 months. I learned about selling as a, you know, storefront on Amazon. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know you could sell on Amazon. You know, I'm doing great over here on eBay. I found a Facebook group and I'm just reading everyone's story and they're like, oh yeah, I'm killing it on Amazon and you know, this and that. And I'm like, oh, well, let me try. Yeah. And that's what I did. I tried it out. My first, and I do FBA. So folks who want to look that up, is Fulfillment by Amazon. Okay. Where I purchase inventory. I actually package it, box it up, and I ship it to Amazon. They fulfill my orders. As customers like you and me, as we buy things off of Amazon, Amazon will fulfill the items. They do the customer service. They take your payment from you. I do nothing but sit and wait for them to pay me. That's the simplicity of it. It's way more to it, but that's the simplicity of it. Yep. I buy inventory. I ship it to Amazon. It sells. They send it. I receive a check. When Amazon
let me pull back. So you went there. So let me pull back and look because I know somebody that's interested. So it's sold on Amazon. So you don't have anything on your website or anything with those products. Everything is direct. You direct people to Amazon to make that purchase.
At the time, I've expanded. Okay. This is 8 years later.
Oh, okay.
So my business model has changed somewhat, and Amazon has actually helped that change. So now I'm split. So now I sell items where I ship myself. Because now I have a warehouse near you guys. Now I have 3,000 square feet. I was doing all of this out of my dining room in my home. Okay. I've expanded over the years, but so now it's split. So I still ship the bulk of my inventory into Amazon, but I also still keep some of my inventory on hand, and I send orders to Amazon. Orders from Amazon as well. I still do eBay. I do Amazon. I have my own website, and I do Etsy.
Okay. And so what about returns? If Amazon gets a return, does that get minused out from you? How does that work?
Oh, yes. So returns. So I will say so we're called third-party sellers. That's the verbiage in Amazon world, 3PL sellers. And we get hit very hard when a return happens. Okay. So Amazon charges us every time a return occurs. Okay. They charge us automatically a certain dollar amount for every return. Okay. So not only do they take back the money from that sale of the item, then they take back additional money just because a return happened and they have to touch it. So every time they process something for us, they charge us for that. It's not free to us. If they accept the return and they get it back, they charge us for that. And then we pay another fee to have the item returned back to us to inspect it, to see if it's, you know, something really wrong with it, if it's really a valid return. Don't get me started on the return piece of it, but yes.
So, I'm sorry, I had to ask those couple questions. So you paid off debt except for your mortgage. You then you left your 6-figure 9-to-5 so that you could spend more money or more time into your business. Your business grew from one business to many other businesses.
To 4. Yes.
To 4. So talk about the journey now. Like, has, you know, so it sounds, wow, this is easy. You could just do this. Talk about the cons, you know, if any, in doing that.
So I will say the cons is expecting sales to happen right away when you start a business, or expecting family and friends to support you financially when you start your business. Take away those expectations. It will be perfect strangers who will support you more than your friends and family. If you go into it with that mindset, knowing that I cannot rely on anyone but myself to help this business grow, your business will grow. Number 2, expect to fail. Expect it. Failure is going to occur. Trust me, it's going to happen. But if you know it's going to happen and that is a learning lesson, learn from it and move on. Learn from the lesson and move on. Do not dwell on it. Look at what you can do better the next go around and go forward. Simple as, I mean, entrepreneurship and success in entrepreneurship is based on all the failures that you worked through and you got over. That's what they're built upon. Success is built on a whole mountain of failures.
So when you move from your 9-to-5, because you said earlier that your income that you was making from your side hustle covered your net income covered your monthly expenses. So that means, you know, the roof over your head, the food, all that good stuff. Now, to your point right there, where sometimes there's, you know, there is failure within business. Sometimes the income can fluctuate. Not so much the net, even the gross coming in could fluctuate. How did you account for that sort of stuff? While paying off debt and still dealing with your income when the 9-to-5 wasn't there anymore.
So, and that was a big drop, like a huge drop. I didn't go from earning 6 figures to grossing 6 figures to netting 6 figures all in a month.
Right.
So like I said, I was paid 6 weeks of vacation time when I left my job. That money went straight to savings.
Okay, got it.
That was my ace in the hole. I continued to keep selling on eBay. The day I left my job, I went and bought more inventory. I had been taking a good bit of the money from eBay and letting it sit in my PayPal account for the months that I was just kind of side hustling. So I had a good amount of money sitting in my PayPal account. I probably shouldn't have left it sitting there, but luckily nothing happened. But I had a good amount of money just sitting in my PayPal account. That's what I used to buy more inventory to keep the sales coming and to increase my sales coming in.
Okay, got it.
So everything was strategic. Now the debt part, and I'm still paying off debt, you guys. So when I say the net income from eBay was covering my monthly expenses, it was covering the Snowball payments too.
Okay, got it.
So the debt.
How did you know what to buy from eBay that would have the returns that you were seeing?
Trial and error. Definitely trial and error. I will say for eBay, it's a little harder when you're, you know, kind of green and to figure out what to buy. Amazon is a lot easier. So I will say this, by the grace of God, when I learned about Amazon and Amazon FBA and got into that world, Amazon took over. Amazon took over eBay. I'm just gonna tell you, like, even today, my Amazon sales are way here. eBay is still there, but nowhere near Amazon sales.
But so what do you sell? Give me a couple examples of what you sell on Amazon.
Oh gosh, some of everything. I'll tell you what I've sold over the years. So over the years, I've sold shoes, tennis shoes, a lot of Crocs. It's funny that Crocs are popular right now because I was selling Crocs way back when. A lot of clothing. Baby clothes, women's clothing. I don't do those categories too much now because those do have the highest return rates. one of the first wholesale accounts that I landed dealing with Amazon was cherry juice, organic cherry juice. And this was a huge risk. This was another leap. I was shopping. I was in Harris Teeter with my mom shopping, and she said, "I can't believe Harris Teeter sells that juice because it's so expensive." And I looked at it and I said, "It's $35 a bottle. What this juice do?" And she's like, "Oh, it helps with this and that." And I'm like, so I took a picture of the juice and I turned the bottle around and took a picture of the company. Found the company, and because when I looked at it on Amazon, the company was kind of selling, but not really. So this is one of the insights to Amazon. You want to find items that not everyone and their mama is selling. That's really the way to make money on Amazon. Don't go with the flow, go against the flow.
Yeah.
So when I found the juice, I said, "Oh, no one is really selling it. I wonder why." When I called the company up and the sales rep called me back, I said, "Okay, I'm interested in, purchasing your product. I would like to sell it online. Are you okay with that?" "Oh yeah, we're fine with that." "Okay, great. How much do I need to buy from you all?" He said, "Oh, you need to buy at least a pallet." And I said, "Oh, how much?" He said, "Yeah, at least a pallet." He said, "Yeah, you need to buy at least 480 cases." And I said, "Okay." And I did it.
Wow.
So I'm still working in my home. I'm still working in my dining room at home. When that first pallet arrived, my neighbors are looking now because this big semi comes into my neighborhood. The guy comes out with the pallet jack, and he's bringing the pallet into my garage. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I have not sold this item yet. Like I haven't even sold it." But I just took a risk and I bought an entire pallet of this juice. And I'm like, "Juice, you better do what you say you do. You better, you better sell it." And then I had to break the pallet down because I didn't want the juice sitting in my garage. So I had to break the pallet down, bring every box into my house, and I sold that pallet out in 2 weeks. And I said, okay, I hit on something else. So there's a lot of hits that you really have to trust your gut and trust your intuition. But with Amazon, there are apps and there are tools out there to help you get a better idea of what to sell and how well it's going to sell.
I love it.
And the key definitely is go against the flow. When my family started realizing when I was selling, everybody wanted to tell me, "Oh, you need to sell TVs. You need to sell Amazon Fire Sticks. You need to sell this." No, I don't want electronics. I don't want to deal with electronics. Everyone is selling electronics. Those spinners, I didn't want any of the popular stuff. The stuff that I sell is the unpopular. Like the Crocs that I sold were unpopular. The clothing that I sold was unpopular. The items I sell today are related to emotions. So I sell a lot of trinkets that are devoted to bereavement, to sympathy, to motivational, to inspirational. Those are the type of items I sell, not your everyday stuff. Your stuff that people, when they're grieving, they're looking to find something to give to a grieving family member or to give as a gift of appreciation. Those are the types of items I sell today outside of my own private line of products that I sell as well.
All right. So I love it. So I love that, again, $107,000 of personal debt, 2 years to pay that off. 3 years to pay that off minus the mortgage. And you use getting your mindset right. You use your own Snowball, I call it Tamika ball effect, right? Using the bill that caused you the most angst and you just wanted it off the table. And I love how you got your emotions out of it in a sense, because you're like, no is no, and I'm comfortable with that, and I'm okay with that, even no to me. And then you said, okay, now that I have my side hustle covering my monthly expenses, I want to put more hours into doing my side hustle. So then this 9 to 5, whatever I'm getting extra from it, the raises, the bonuses, the vacation money, I'm going to have that be a fund for my business and for my thing and put it away. So I love how you did that. And then you are now full-blown entrepreneur and have been doing it for how many years?
It's 8 years now. That was 2014 when I left corporate America.
Yeah. So now folks listening are going to want to know, let's leave them with 2 things. One, how to get their mind, how to stay focused. So if you can give some tips on a tip on how to stay focused. And then 2, what can they do until they get to the point where you are right now, where you're full-time entrepreneurship, if that's what they want to do? I know you, like me, worked a 9 to 5 while doing your side hustle. That's okay too. Talk on those 2 things. One, one tip that they can do to transform how they think about money in debt while they're aspiring to do other things. And then 2, if keeping the 9 to 5 is what they want to do, a tip on how they can manage the both. So go ahead with that.
So the first one way to stay focused is really think about yourself when you're 80. Is what you're doing today going to help you when you're 80? Will it help you or hurt you? What you're buying today, will your 80-year-old self still have that today? Still have it when you're 80? Will it benefit you when you're 80? That for me was it. Like really sitting down and saying, when I'm old and gray, I have to visualize. So visualize yourself at 80 and think about everything you do, even in your business. I treat my business the same way I treat my personal. I have a savings for my business. I have savings on my personal. Treat them both the same. Yeah. Do not disregard what you do on your personal side and splurge on the business side. Yeah. The same habits you pick up here will, trust me, they will go with you far in your business endeavors. Yeah. For the entrepreneurship and moving into the full-time piece of that, if you're working today and you're getting frustrated at work, just sit down and start to write down what you're good at, or what you're potentially good at, or what are people always coming to you for? Yes. Like, yeah, I mean, what are they always asking about? Like I said, I was a big couponer. I did not know that me couponing and always looking for deals and being a clearance queen would equate to me finding items to flip. Yeah, I was doing one half of the equation. I was finding the items, but I didn't know about flipping them on eBay. Yeah. So, just sit down and really start to write down what is something that you do today that could possibly be monetized. Yes. And work on that one thing, that shiny object syndrome that you see on Instagram and YouTube, and everybody is doing this, and yesterday they was doing that, and tomorrow they over here making 6 figures, and then they're making 7 figures, and one thing. Yeah. Focus on your one thing, because trust me, it is your purpose and is your God's given gift. Yes. It's your one thing to focus on, and how can you monetize that to get you out of the 9 to 5? Yeah. As you're in your 9 to 5, reduce those expenses. Look around and get rid of what doesn't serve you today, what isn't going to serve your 80-year-old self tomorrow.
I love it. I love it so much. Tamika, it's been awesome. You are a wealth of information. I appreciate you. Did we connect in the entrepreneurship group? Was that where we connected?
The Cornell alumni.
Yeah, the Cornell. Yes. So it was a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for being here, sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Her contact information will be in the show notes. Thanks again for rocking with me, Patrina Dixon, the It's My Money Lady. Just as a reminder, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube station where you can get more of this information, please make sure you drop down and hit that red subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this episode or have any questions or comments for either of us, make sure you drop those down in the comments as well. If you are listening to this on any of the audio platforms, do the same. Let us know what you think about the episode. Share it with a friend as well. Tamika has shared some great tips on getting out of debt, as well as growing your business if you're an entrepreneur. And all the tips she shared, although she talked about eBay and Amazon, those skill sets that she talked about can be across any business. So Tamika, thanks again for being here. I appreciate you, and those of you listening, thank you, squad, for rocking with me, Patrina Dixon, the It's My Money Lady. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a great one.